Our day will start with EV1 in red stripes and EV2 in white. Crew will egress the International Space Station from the airlock and will both be carrying a tool bag. EV1 will translate to an external pallet forward of the airlock to retrieve a foot restraint that they will take as they translate starboard to set up and ingress the Space Station Robotic Manipulator System, or robotic arm, from the S1 truss. Once EV1 is ingressed, the robotic arm will back off from structure and then maneuver the crew up and over the main truss to the space-to-ground antenna, or SGANT, worksite. Meanwhile, EV2 will translate aft and zenith around the airlock to the Z1 truss. Here, EV2 will set up the worksite to remove and temporarily stow the failed SGANT antenna. Next, they will translate up the antenna boom to prepare the SGANT for removal. Shortly after, EV1 will be arriving on the robotic arm. The two crew will work together to install locks over the antenna's gimbals to restrain it from motion during handling. Next, EV1 will demate two electrical connectors. The crew will then work together to release 4 bolts holding the antenna to the boom. EV1 will remove the SGANT from the boom back away from the worksite. EV2 will translate down the boom to the temp stow location. EV1 will hand the antenna to EV2, who will install it in a temporary stowage location. From here, the crew will maneuver starboard for the retrieval of the spare antenna. EV1 will fly to the worksite on the robotic arm and begin the release of 2 bolts. EV2 will translate along the truss to this worksite and assist EV1 with release. EV1 will retrieve the spare antenna from its housing, and the robotic arm will fly back to the install location on the Z1 truss. EV2 will translate back along the truss the same way they came, passing by the airlock on the way. Both at the worksite, the crew will work together to get the antenna seated and installed on the boom. Next, the two crew will release and remove the 2 locks from the spare antenna's gimbals and install a thermal cover. EV2 will retrieve the failed antenna from its temporary stowage location and pass it off to EV1. EV1 will carry the failed antenna outboard to its long-term stowage location. EV2 will work to clean up the Z1 worksite before heading back outboard. EV2 will drop off the tool bag at the airlock before continuing translation to the failed antenna install. Crew will work together to get the failed antenna stowed and 2 bolts installed. Once the failed antenna is stowed, EV1 will maneuver to the same location they ingress the robotic arm from. EV2 will begin translation back to the airlock and prepare for crew ingress. EV1 will egress the robotic arm and remove the foot restraint, which they will be stowing on an equipment platform nearby. EV1 will then translate back to the airlock, where crew will ingress the International Space Station with their tool bags to finish out their planned 6-hour and 30-minute EVA.